All right, folks, now we're going to shift into vertical versus vertical atoms. Vertical versus vertical atoms were my original favorite, and that's kind of what put me on this rabbit hole in the first place. So let's look at them in the context of what we already know about crosshair atoms. If we take the one we've been starting with every time, bend it out. If we just rotate this so it's facing downward, I end up with an atom like this, where the nexus is in between my arms and the planes are perpendicular to each other. All right, I'll bend it back up. The same thing happens on this side, right? So now it's just facing the other way, but the nexus is between my arms and the planes are perpendicular to each other. Bend it back up. We can bend off the top, bend it down and look, we've got the same kind of thing, but now the nexus is on the outside of my hands, right? Bend it back up, bend off this side on the top, bend it down. Same thing. Nexus is on the outside of my hands. So we've got the four atoms, our four atoms we've been dealing with, rotate them down, and we experience them in a couple different ways. But with vertical versus vertical, we can orient ourselves differently. Like with the crosshair atom, I can basically look at, like, my vertical is the buzzsaw. Now my vertical's in wall, and now it's reverse buzzsaw. Now it's wall again. So we have a pretty familiar situation when orienting ourselves to the crosshair. With the vertical versus vertical, we get kind of interesting stuff. So let's start with our atom again, bend it down. Rather than bringing it back, bend, and then bending this one, and then bending it down, let's do something kind of interesting. Bend it down, get it going. All I have to do is just move my body around the atom. I can access both of them. Here's one. Here's one. In fact, I can present myself, I can orient myself to this atom so that we have some symmetry, right? Because with these, our polarities are in a diagonal, and our clashing is in a diagonal, and the line of symmetry is diagonal. When we rotate that down, we can actually orient ourselves 45 degrees to that atom, and now we have a symmetrical sort of atom going on, right? What's cool about that is our polarities now are aligned. There's a polarity in the front and a polarity in the back of the atom, almost like forward and reverse, right? And then we can even present ourselves to the atom. Well, I'll show you. So here's our crosshair. We bend it down. Now I present myself to this atom at 45 degrees. So I have that symmetrical atom. You can tell it's an atom. It looks like split up from the front, but it looks like split same from the side. That's another cool thing. There's multiple ways to present these. That's why I love atoms. So now we'll examine the other variables. Remember, we had one where the nexus is on the inside of our arms. Well, we also have the one where our nexus is on the in front of my hands. And it presents very, very similarly, right? Split up from the side, split same. So now we're going to kind of try to experience what I call the lateral polarity atom, right? So we have just now been playing with there's a positive in front of the atom and a negative in back. Just like everything, you know, our nexus is in one of those operational quadrants. We've rotated it down and we're addressing it in a forward and backwards kind of way. Well, what if we move that atom so that the polarities are on the lateral sides, the left and the right? Well, are you familiar with the wavy weave? That's what this is. So we're going to just start right now. I'm going to teach you the wavy weave. First thing you want to know is how to do a crosser. So this is just your basic crosser. As the hand in the direction you're turning scoops down, turn towards it. And now, from reverse, the hand in the direction you're turning scoops up, turn towards it. Just linking this. So this is like your crosser. It has a bunch of different names depending on who's teaching it. The idea is my arms are crossed and I'm just doing a beat on this side and a bead on this side. Well, with this atom where our nexus is in between our arms, if I cross my arms, I've now moved the nexus to a point in front of my hands. So this is, it feels a lot like a crosser. And if I wait for this hand, the direction I'm turning to be scooping up, well, I can just turn around. So I have my reverse atom with a negative polarity in front, positive polarity in back. I cross. No. So let me just split my arms apart like this. Let me take the hand that's on the bottom and split them. Okay. It's kind of a wall plane feeling thing. I've got this sort of angle, like I'm standing inside of a box here. I'll scoop my hand under, and I'm back to my familiar atom. This is your wavy weave. It's just an atomic crosser hug thing. I'll show you that from this angle. So that weave has a couple ways of presenting, which is pretty cool. And you can use that to go from your forward atom to your reverse atom. And then forward, reverse, forward, reverse. So that's pretty cool. That's a way to access this lateral kind of polarity. The thing about this lateral polarity is it's unstable. So your stable points are here and then here. You can kind of flop through this, but you can't really get right in the middle. You can do one on one side, one on the other. Experiment with it and you'll see what I'm saying. So all of that has been where our atom starts like this. We cross it so that the nexus is in front of our hands. We also have this version, right? Where the nexus is just by its nature in front of our hands. Well, that one is just like turning. There's no hug. You just turn and you get this, like what I call the other wavy weave. Other wavy weave. It's the same kind of, the pattern of the poi heads will be the same. It's just much easier. Yeah, and now we know that we can use those to transition from our forward atom with the nexus in front, atom, reverse atom with the nexus in front. Or now we'll examine the mountain mode, valley mode kind of idea with our vertical versus vertical atoms. So valley mode, because it's making a V that looks like a valley. The nexus is between my arms. I cross my arms to get the nexus in front of it. All that stuff, you just aim it down, vertical versus vertical. But it's the same thing. I'm making a V, bringing the nexus in between my arms, crossing my arms to bring the nexus to the front. So from this atom, all of the weaves that we covered in the weave video, you can do out and around, in swing, all of it, right? And we can use our wavy weave to turn and access the reverse version of all of those. And we also have our other atom, the upside down atom. You know, there's two ways to experience the atom. So this is the vertical versus vertical version. That's the one where your nexus, this is mountain mode, right? Because it makes a mountain. Bring your hands together. The nexus is in the front. Just like our weave video, this is the one where you can do in swings, the in swing weave kind of thing, or the crossed out and around thing. So there's a whole set of weave you can do here, and then you have your wavy weave, and you can do all of them in reverse here. So this is another lateral atom. It's equally unstable. You can kind of essentially from your atom do one in swing, and then you just turn and do the other in swing. So I'm still kind of in my back and forth. My positive negative is in the front and back. I just kind of move that over by in swinging once, bing, like that, and then I switch which ones in swinging. So there's no real stable middle point with this lateral polarity atom. I can get close, but then I have to jump across to the other side. So you get this kind of bouncy, cool weave thing. I'll show you from the front. So we get those. We have valley mode, atom, atomic weaves, all of this. And then we have our mountain mode atom with in-swing weaves, all of this. And then both of those have their strange lateral polarity that we can use to turn between forward and reverse. Then the other side. Reverse, forward, reverse, forward. So I'm going to leave you with a pendulum drill. This thing's just fun. It's more of a meditation than a drill to kind of get familiar with the way that these orientations interact, because you'll notice valley mode moving in the same direction in your lateral polarity will be mountain mode, and mountain mode moving in the same direction in your lateral polarity will be valley mode. So the pendulum drill, like we were doing for our breaks into those flowers, we'll do a quarter, same time, right? And if we just flip these into an orbit, well, we've got a vertical versus vertical orientation. We could bring our hands together, make an atom, but we're going to just mess with the pendulums. So this is both of them hitting the outside at the same time. I'm going to step from the quadrant I'm in, opposite the quadrant I'm tracing. This is the one I'm in right now. It's opposite the quadrant I'm tracing with the poi heads. I'm going to step one quadrant to my right. And now I have one poi hitting the center and one hitting the edge. Step to the next quadrant to my right, both hitting the center again. Step to the right again. Now they're alternating. Step to the right one more time. I'm back where I started. Do that in both directions. Extend them all the way. From here, this same one, all the way across to this same one. Starting to feel familiar, right? Okay, so we'll step to the left one quadrant. Okay, sorry. Now, we can notice this. I'm inside of a box here. A box, I'm looking into the corner with the planes of my poi, right? If I step across, now I'm standing outside of a box, and the corner is pointed towards me. Do you see that? Inside the box, outside the box. So now, if I take and I just do one orbit with one of the poi while the other one pendulums, it'll switch. So now I'm outside of the box and I'm in this alternating. Step to the right, inside the box, and they're hitting at the same time. See? Step to the right, outside, alternating. Step to the right again, inside, and they're hitting at the same time. Play with that. Play with those pendulums. Play with the two versions of it and see what kind of, there's all sorts of fun pendulum stuff. Just switching one, switching the other, stretching across. Any of these could turn into a move, So while you meditate on those ideas, also look for moves you can do out of those cool pendulums, because there's a lot and they're fun. All right, see you in the next video.